You guys good? All right. Just want to talk through some of this. We're kind of in our second wave as we've gone through this. So, a bunch of roster moves we've had to make decisions on today, which obviously is not the fun part of this. So we lost a lot of guys the last 2 days. Obviously, our main goal is to get as many of these guys back through practice squad and all the different tools that we can utilize as we go through that. And also part of this is just defining roles for players on our roster. And so, the quarterback competition is one that everyone's obviously kept a good eye on, healthy eye on the whole offseason. It's a really good quarterback room. I love the group. Love the young guys in there. I think they're all going to be great players. And so use the whole process, obviously, as everyone has felt. We've kind of gone through the whole process. I think that was an important part for these young guys is to go through the whole process. But just so we go through it, just so everyone, Spencer Rattler is our starting quarterback. Really, really excited for him. He's done an awesome job this offseason. So he's just been consistent. He's made some really good decisions throughout this whole entire process. And his ability to make plays with his arm and his feet have certainly shown up. And so I'm really, really excited about Spencer. He's earned this opportunity. He's going to do a tremendous job for us. At the same time, we're really, really fortunate. We got Tyler. Love the development that he's had over the course of this entire offseason. He's done a number of things for the first time in his career, just navigating that. And I think that's an important aspect when you're a younger quarterback, to let the whole process play itself out. I thought he capped it off with just an excellent performance against Denver on the last preseason game. I thought he did a really, really good job. And so I'm a big believer in just the importance of developing quarterbacks, developing them the right way. There's a process for both of these guys. Give them the space to develop, and we think we got two guys that are going to have great careers for us. And so, obviously, we're excited about this process. It's never easy. They made it really, really hard because they were very, very close. But we're excited for Spence, and Tyler's in a great position to continue to develop, and we feel like we got some depth in that room, which is really valuable for this league. And so, a couple of the other roster spots as we go through this, a couple of the IR guys, just so we're on the same page, Taysom and Foster will stay on PUP. Injured reserve-wise, Ridgeway went there, Barry Wesley, and then Landon Young. So those are a couple of those.
Which two will be designated?
Ridgeway and Wesley. Yep.
So
then
what did Landon Young end up having that will keep him out?
Yeah, he just had that leg, the ankle, and so he'll have to have surgery and all the recovery that goes with that. And so we'll get you the list. I know Dougie's going to get you the list of the full group, but obviously it's been a challenging day for everyone on an emotional level. Just because you root for all these guys, you want them all to succeed, and ultimately we're trying to get as many of these guys back as we possibly can. Tough decisions had to be had, but we're excited with where we're going. So I'll open up to any questions.
Is it a broken ankle or is it an ankle?
Yeah, he just has to have surgery on it. Yeah, he'll have surgery on that, and so tough deal. But obviously, we've had a number of offensive lineman injuries. All these guys are going to do everything they can to recover when those timelines are. Certainly, a few of them are next year, but we'll continue to address the offensive line as we go through this.
With Spencer, when did it kind of come clear to you that what's separated them?
Just consistency. I think consistency. I thought he did some really good things. Certainly, the last couple weeks of practice, I thought he had just consistent performances day in and day out. I think his decision making, he's taken a really awesome step there. He's making really good decisions with the football. He's an aggressive player, and that's one of his superpowers, but he's done a really good job of balancing that out and making really good decisions with the football. Felt like he checked it off with the last preseason game. I thought he had a really, really good week that entire week. We were out over at the Dome for that practice on a Wednesday night, and I thought he did an excellent job and carried that through right into Denver. And so, we feel like he put himself in a position to have a successful start. He's going to give us a heck of a chance to compete and go win some games.
When you entered this competition, did you have an idea of how much, I guess, each aspect of it would count overall? Like, were you weighing preseason games and how they perform in that counts for so much? Practice counts, or did it kind of?
You're trying to collect as many data points and reference points as you can. Certainly preseason games, there's a healthy weight there compared to practices, but we got so many practices. And I think as training camp went on, when we got into more of those situations, where we got into call-it situations, tried to create as many game-like settings as we could. I thought both these guys did a really good job. There's nothing easy about this decision. I think the big thing is Spencer's a starter. We're supporting him. He's going to go lead this thing. Tyler's going to keep developing, and I think we're in a great position.
Did you have to I mean, were you kind of ready to almost make this decision after the Jaguars game, or like what was that process like after the Jaguars game? You had such a big moment, but you want to give more time, right? How did you kind of negotiate that?
Yeah, certainly his end of the Jacksonville game was an awesome opportunity for him. I thought he did an excellent job. He brought the team back and did a really good job there. We felt like we had one more excellent week where, when you have 3 practices, we had a lot of game situations within those practices. I know, most people don't get to see those. We get to see them, obviously, and evaluate them. And then you cap it off with the game. And so, I felt like he performed through the last 7 to 10 days really well.
I know we emphasize the operation for the quarterbacks and wanted to see them get the offense running the way you want it to run. So, what did you see in Spencer in that regard specifically?
I think both of these guys are heading in the right direction. They've done a nice job. I think Spence has done a really good job of leading the charge as far as operating the offense, making really good decisions, playing really clean football. I think that's an important aspect of this thing, and so he's done some really good things.
But do you feel like Tyler's development here was kind of maybe the thing holding him back right now?
No, I'm just really excited about Tyler's development. I think he's done a really, really good job. Again, I very much value the developmental process of quarterbacks in this league, and I think it's really important that he just keeps growing. I think for him, it's the first time in a number of situations, maybe a number of different things that he's being asked to do. And growth comes with more time. And so I'm excited for him to just become more consistent as you go through that. That's a very natural process. And, keep making really good decisions. And, I think the game, the more he's around it, the game's going to slow down for him. And he's just going to be set up really well.
I know we'll talk to Spencer and get his when you told him, what do you kind of remember about his reaction?
Yeah, Spencer's fired up. Yeah, Spencer's really fired up. I think both these guys these guys are really connected, and I think that's the superpower of what a quarterback room is all about. Is you got to have you have to make decisions. Guys have to establish roles, but within those roles, you're supporting each other, and so I think those guys are going to work together really, really well, and still compete in a really healthy way. And so I'm excited to give Spence that opportunity to go for it. And again, he's our guy, and we're going to let him roll.
How was this communicated to the team? Did you have a team meeting with quarterbacks? Like how?
Thought it was important. We met with each quarterback, and then we had a team meeting shortly after that. And there's a few other roles we wanted to talk about, and so we talked about a couple of the guys that had earned certain roles on our team that were worth making sure everyone's on the same page and everyone hears it. And so part of the next week really is really defining roles for everyone on this team, and that's a challenging part of this as well. Is everyone understanding everyone's competing, everyone wants to get on the field, but ultimately to be a really successful team, to be a connected team, everyone needs to know their piece of this and how they're all fitting in while they're still competing to get on the field in some capacity.
Kelly, can you get into the decision to cut Jake, and if that was at all impacted by just the numbers and trying to make it?
Yeah, the third quarterback spot's a tricky spot, and I got firsthand experience with this third QB position. I've kind of lived that world a little bit. A couple other roster spots, you're always trying to keep 3 in a perfect world, but sometimes you get a little bit short in some other spots that you just need to address. And so, that's the challenging aspect of this. Obviously, Jake has to go through a process now from a claims perspective and all that sort of stuff, but obviously we still think he's got a really good path for us, a really good developmental opportunity here. I think the world of Jake. I've known Jake for a really long time, and so we'll see how that all goes for him on a personal level, and hopefully we'll see if the opportunity presents itself for him to get back here, which would be great.
Of course, the competition was under you, but how much of his experience from last year might have played a role in the decision for Spencer?
For Spencer, certainly, experience is very, very valuable. And Spence went through some challenging things last year, and for him to come out of that a better player, but then to be able to respond really, really well all offseason, I think was a tremendous testament to his work ethic and the way his mind works. I think he's got ability to kind of rebound from a challenge, an interception, a mistake, whatever it may be. That's one of the things that makes Spence great, is his ability to just keep playing his game, keep trusting himself, keep delivering, and he's going to do that for us throughout this season.
Kellen, is this a situation, I think you said it last week, you rallied behind him, good in the bad, and just stick with him. You said throw interceptions, we're going to
Yeah. Yeah, guys, I think that's the important thing, guys. We're not getting into this QB debate throughout this season. Spencer, our starting quarterback. Tyler's going to keep developing. Quarterbacks, you need a couple quarterbacks in seasons. These are long NFL seasons, and so I think we do value that we have depth there, and we'll have to navigate the rest of it as we go. But we're really excited about Spence. He's going to do an awesome job for us.
That meeting you have with the quarterbacks, was that this afternoon or this morning?
Yeah, just around lunchtime.
What did you like about Steve Richards?
Yeah. We obviously have some connections there with a couple of coaches who were in Dallas, and so there was a awesome opportunity just to get some depth in the offense line. We've navigated this thing a little bit just because of the amount of injuries that have gone in there. He's played a lot of snaps. He's a 2023 draft pick, so he's still young in that sense, and so we feel like we got a really good developmental piece that, if called upon, he's ready to roll and he's ready to go play and contribute. And so, there's a lot of thumbs up and pluses as everyone went through the evaluation process.
We've seen this a couple times with y'all. Is getting a player on a rookie contract kind of important for y'all, just for like kind of building out the depth of the roster?
It works out great. I mean, certainly we felt like the offensive line, we needed to find a couple pieces there just to navigate this thing. He's done a really good job in Dallas, and so we're excited to get him.
For Tyler's development, there's also this idea that it would be beneficial for the franchise to be able to fully evaluate him maybe the course of a year playing. Why wasn't that the case in your mind, and you kind of address that more?
Yeah, no. I think first thing is Spence has earned this opportunity. He's had a really, really good offseason. Again, we feel like Tyler's got an excellent developmental opportunity. There's a lot of things that you're going to develop. There's a long list of quarterbacks who've had plenty of successful careers that get to be scout team quarterbacks for a certain amount of time and develop and get more and more comfortable with the system and all that sort of stuff. And so I think both these guys have an excellent opportunity and an excellent path to be really successful starting quarterbacks in this league.
What went into the decision to release Isaiah Foskey?
Tough one, really challenging. Obviously, as you go through this, there's a numbers game associated with this, and you reach that point where there's only so many spots, and we felt like having 4 edge rushers gave us a really good opportunity, and then we'll kind of navigate the rest of it. And so, obviously we're rooting for all these guys. We hope they find their path, be successful. Foskey, he does it the right way. He's an awesome person. He competes. He challenges it each and every day, and so we'll see how it all shakes down.
Where's Rump for Diggs?
Rump.
So that 6 linebackers?
We're gonna do this math. No, I'm just kidding. There's 5 linebackers. We'll get the transactions to you guys here shortly, so you guys can run through all those. But
So with the next 2 practices,
it's a big math problem, I know.
the next 2 practices you mentioned yesterday that they're going to kind of focus on, kind of calibrating things
Yeah.
with this 53. How much now having the quarterback in place, how much of it
Grow visibility and dominate AI search with AI optimization. Track and compare.
impact does that have? Do you feel like you can do different things with these guys? And so that means you can
Really, it's just having specific reps for each guy. Obviously, Spence needs all the 1 reps, and he's gonna roll, and he's gonna get all those reps. And Tyler will transition to some scout team stuff, but we'll still have developmental opportunities. I think that's the big thing about our process is we want to continue to develop these guys. All these guys that we've had to have really tough conversations with this past 2 days. We're going to need these guys this season. We're going to need guys to step up and take advantage of opportunities. And so it's about collecting as many good players, as many guys that we've invested in, and going through a long season together.
Did you sense that the team was kind of ready for a decision from the quarterback?
I don't know. I think there's always thoughts and ideas there. I think our group's done an excellent job of just putting their head down, working, competing, and I think our team's in an excellent spot.
Did you tell your kids yet?
No, they're still at school, so.
Kellen, we often hear about people come through in your organization, like they've had experience at scouting players. Like I'm sure you looked at Spencer when he was coming out of the draft process. So, was anything when you got here was kind of what you were expecting, or did you surprise you in some ways?
I think the big thing that jumped out through the offseason was just his consistency day in and day out and his decision making. Spence can make all the throws. He's got, he's the fakest 4.9 ever because he's a whole lot more of an athlete than his 4.9. I don't think he cared about the 40 or something when he was coming out because he's an athlete. He can make plays with his feet. He does a tremendous job that way. And I think the thing that just kept showing up was consistency, excellent decision making. Consistency, excellent decision making, and he just continued to hold that steady throughout the offseason. That's certainly something that we value.
Were you a real
I was right at 4.9. Yeah, took everything.
What about in terms of Spencer's confidence? Like, that kind of, I don't know, point into your decision at all, but does it help him? Did you see it help him to kind of bounce back from mistakes? Like, how does this confidence affect his quarterback?
Certainly with Spence, I think, the way he plays each and every play, independent of whatever happened the previous play, I think is a great strength of his. He has a great level of confidence in himself, but he has an ability to handle, a tough moment, a bad moment, a mistake, and just play the next play. Just play the next play, and that's going to happen in football. And certainly it's something we talk about for every player in every position. And so, there's a lot of good in that.
Kind of a different subject. Obviously, you got a lot going on this week, but your awareness and appreciation of this being the 20th anniversary of Katrina. You guys having that.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a moment in time where I was a senior in high school, so I was a senior in high school. I'm aging myself a little bit there, maybe for a few of you guys. But it was a moment in time to show just how special this community is and how much it's rallied together. And me being at that time seeing it from afar and now having an opportunity to better understand, you quickly realize, okay, I see why this community is so special. When you come in and you get to know the people, the relationships, the connection that this community has, it's a really special place, and everyone holds on to it really dearly just because of the show of resiliency that it created for this community, and it shows a willingness that we can go through a bunch of hard times, we can go through a bunch of challenges and come out better than it was in the past. And so it shows just how special this place is.